Hey everybody, welcome back to another grilling video, and today we are going to be doing one that's going to be absolutely great for when you have some leftovers of the smoked meat you've done. You can certainly do this as a vegetarian dish only, but listen, we're a smoking channel. We're piling some smoked meat on there. We're going to be doing some really good smoked baked potatoes, and we're going to load them up with some leftover chopped barbecue we have, some cheese, and just some deliciousness all inside of that. So let me show you the best way to smoke or grill a baked potato. You can do this in your house for sure. You can do it on your gas grill, and you can do it on your pellet smoker or smoker. I am doing it on the smoker. The reality is they're really baked potatoes. They're not smoked. We're going to wrap these in enough foil that I don't think any smoke penetration is getting to them, but we're still doing it outside on the pellet grill. So to that point, we need to go ahead and add in some pellets, and I'm just using one of these competition mixed blends. We've got our griddle on just low temperature here. So we want to go ahead and turn our grill up to 350 degrees, and it's important that we do this at about 350. That's the perfect temperature for getting these potatoes just the way we want them. We're going to be doing a nice salt jacket on them. We'll show you just how to do that. But before we start prepping all that, let's get this turned up to 350. That way she can start getting up to temperature. All right, so really simple. At its core, you need some russet potatoes. I would encourage you to get about the same size potatoes. I usually just go and I buy however many I need. I don't usually buy one of those 5 or 10 pound bags unless I have a bunch of friends coming over or something. Otherwise, it's just too inconsistent. So you can see that I bought all of these that are about the same size. That means they're all gonna cook the same length of time, which is gonna be really important. Now, obviously, you probably know this, but baked potatoes, you want to use a small brush under some cold water, clean these things off real good and let them dry. I just patted them dry with a paper towel, set them on a little tray out here in the sun for about 3 minutes, and then rotated them over, and they are perfectly dry. We do that because we're going to cover them with a nice neutral oil. I'm using olive oil. You could use avocado oil or something like that. And then you want to use some coarse ground kosher salt or coarse ground salt. I like this versus the fine salt because it gives it this nice outer jacket layer. So let's go ahead and prep here. What we're going to do is we're just going to open this up and get some of our salt right down here onto a plate so we can roll these guys around in this. And we are going to use our olive oil, rub all around it. I'm going to get me a second plate. I just realized I didn't have that, and that was a mistake. We want to be completely ready to go with everything we need after we get these potatoes wrapped up in the salt. So we're going to go ahead and cut us some foil. We're going to double wrap these in foil. I have found that when you wrap them twice, they just seem to do so much better. So this is a good size for each of these potatoes. You just cut 4 pieces of this. And it really is simple. We're going to take our potatoes, put them right here on a little tray. This just keeps the oil from getting all over the place. And we're going to go ahead and just run some oil on them. Now you can just take a plate and kind of dip them in it and roll it in it, but frankly, this just works better for me. I don't want a lot of oil on them, so I just want to make sure the entire outer edge is coated just enough to ensure that when I put it in the into the salt, there's enough oil on it that it makes it stick to it. That's ultimately what we're looking for here. Now, we're just going to roll this potato all the way through here, and we really want this nice and coated on this potato. You're looking for a complete jacket, if you will, salt jacket on the whole thing. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and do the next one here. And we're just rolling these through. You just want this nice and coated. You can certainly just sprinkle it on with your hands, and I'm doing that in the spots where there's like a shape that doesn't allow it to roll on there very good. A couple of things here as we begin to wrap these up. I like to wrap them up at a bit of an angle and fairly loose. I don't want them to be very tight around these. Do that because we don't want to have this peel that salt jacket off when we actually unroll it. You'll see here, I'm going a little bit loose with these. Just fold it up. All right, we now have our loose wrapped potatoes. We're going to add one more coat of foil around each one of these. You probably don't need as big of a piece of foil as you did the first time. So let's go ahead and get a few small pieces of foil cut. Same thing, just nice and loosely wrapped. And there we go. Our potatoes are ready to go in the grill. Let's just go ahead and make sure the grill's up to temperature. It's very important. Do not put these in until that temperature is at 350, and then you put them in quickly and close the door. We don't have time to sort of dilly-dally around. If that temperature goes down too low, they just don't quite cook as well as you want. What we want is a nice crispy, salted outer skin that has a little bit of a crunch on the outside of it, but the inside is soft and flaky and almost fluffy. That's the important thing that we're really looking for here. We're at about 380 degrees, which is okay. As you know, these things cycle up and down a little bit. So we are gonna get these very close and ready to go. I'm gonna put them on just to the sides of the actual firebox. Let's pop this here, this one here, this one here, this one here, and we will close this deck down. Nice and quick. This will probably take about 45 to 60 minutes. We're gonna come in and we're gonna check them by probing right on through. We want them to go through very easily so it's nice and tender inside. We'll see you back in a little while. All right, everybody, it's been 1 hour later. I came out about 10 minutes ago and I went ahead and used the thermometer to probe into the potatoes, and they just were a little bit tight still on the inside, so I went another 10 minutes or so. They're probing nice and tender. Let's pull one out. We'll open it up and show you what it looks like. All right. Yes, this is probably going to be very hot, so I'm being cautious, and I have a glove here in the event I need to use it, which I may. I can see all that crispy salt right down on there. That's exactly what we want to see. And we're going to do this up a really nice way. I've got a little bit of leftover brisket. We're going to pop a little bit of this right into some foil and onto the grill. Pop that on there right now to heat it up. That'll just take a couple of moments. And we just want to slice this. Now, if you're going to fill these, I'll show you the best way to slice these. Most people probably know this, but let me zoom in and show you. What we're going to do is we're going to cut it along the top, not quite to the ends, and then we're going to press the ends to spread it wide open and create this wonderful cavity. And I'm not even using a sharp knife here. I just have a butter knife. That's exactly what we want to see. See how nice that opened up? Now, best thing to do is turn it sideways, and you'll see my cut only goes from here to here. We just want to take this, and you're going to take your fingers and squeeze in as you go. Ideally, we're just trying to compress it in. Boy, it's hot. That gives us this wonderful cavity to just fill with all that goodness. I'm going to start with a bit of butter right in there. The other thing I like to do is I like to put a few grooves right down into the potato this way. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Gives a nice place for all of that butter, sour cream, and whatnot to sink its way in there. Push this open a little bit more. Pop some of our cheese on that, and I'm going to pop this right back on the grill for a moment just to allow that to start to melt in there. Now I'm going to use a little spatula under this just to allow me to put this in real easily. We're just looking to melt some of the cheese in there. All right, we've pulled our big potato out. I'm just going to go ahead and get some of that beef right now. Put it in here. We're just going to go ahead and place that beef right on there. Look at that. Sprinkle a little bit more of that cheese on there. It'll start melting here in just a few moments. And we go in with some of our favorite barbecue sauce. Listen, and with that, folks, it is time to go ahead and give this a shot. This is an amazing way to make a great meal with leftovers. And we're making these with all the beef right in them, but the reality is this, just as a baked potato, is phenomenal as well. Just butter and sour cream in there makes them wonderful. All right, let's get a little bit of everything in here. A little bit of that beef, a little bit of potato. It's going to be hot. You even notice I put some of that flaky salt that came off the jacket while it smoked and cooked. That's it. That's it. God damn, that's good. Wow. Love the crispness of the jacket on the outside too. Just that nice potato skin with the salt sort of infused onto it. That is something. That is something good. That's it. Simple and easy leftover dish. Baked potatoes out on the smoker. Add you some good smoked meat. You will love it. Bye, y'all. Safe and happy grilling. Oh, good. You're still here. Hey, listen, if you really like to see these smoking recipes, check out this PitBoss smoker recipe. And down here is all the Blackstone ones. Bye, y'all.